All right, I don't have a lot of time because I'm working with light and shit. So, um, all right. So, the structure of the universe, right? It's 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 essentially two toruses, right? So you have like this with all this communication and feedback, right? You what happens when like you don't talk to somebody for a minute, right? It's almost like what they fucking stop growing. No, it's like there's a change with so much time. If there's enough of it, it's almost like they're a complete stranger. So like you're looking at like a mirror reflection or some shit, right? So with both of these um, portions of divinity, right? Because um, you know, like for real, it's like femininity is innately divine, right? It encompasses everything, right? But lordship is instinctually male, right? And this is where like the proto, like what is this? It's an arrow, a phallic symbol. What is this? It's a feminine symbol, right? Um, if if everything was if this kept continuing without any like winner, like if everything was completely fucking equal, it would it wouldn't fucking like there would be no. It would just be a whole bunch of. It would just be generating a whole bunch of energy, right? That's what the feminine aspect does. It generates a whole bunch of. It's like a power plant, it's battery or something. The male aspect, right? It's it's a conductor. It uses it directs that energy. You know what I'm saying? It's what is the cross when you pow pow. It's, you're saying it's also because you gotta like symbols and concepts translate. It's also a sword. It's a weapon. This concept is prevailing through multiple realms of reality and shit, and manifesting in different ways. But anyway, so um, you get this arc, right? Is it like what is these waves right here? They're arcs from each point of view and from each perspective. It's an arc. What is the arc of the covenant? Like, okay, so imagine this was the flood, right? Water, arcs, boat, arc, then rainbow, arc. Do you see what the fuck? It's it's all an aspect of the eye of consciousness and awareness, and then the eye, then it continues on forth. It grows. And you have the crown. It's that's basically what it is. And then under that, from these two perspectives, right? This is a tree. It looks like, doesn't it? This is the human body. It's the man. And if I was to draw it, what's on the other side of the tree? You see what I'm saying? Okay, let me do this. And if it's the other side. All right, so as you know, feedback, right? This in charge of creating that, or is this in charge of creating this? Well, it's neither and both are true. You know what I'm saying? It's like chicken and the egg type shit. Like as communication is getting, see, since they do not experience time, the different levels and vibrations um of like light and shit, right? Or frequencies of light, yeah. Um, at a super high frequency, shit would be like instantaneous. From this perspective, shit is taking time. You know what I'm saying? It's growing slowly, eons, or whatever. There's no concept of time here. Only like landmarks, right? So if you are gonna translate, right? Um, let's put it up here and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this there is a feedback. So let's go. Right. So as this is all going down, right? They are essentially transferring information. So from this perspective, this is where you would get the culmination of divinity, um, like angels. From this side, this is where you would get the accumulation of divinity, right? So this is like you'd get I'm gonna call them um kami. I think it's like the Japanese for God. Um, all of this, all of this right here, like this whole realm, gods. It's almost like while this is the information getting sent here to develop the realm that we live in, right? Like all of this, that's Earth. This is the universe. That's it. This is us. Um, oh, it look like an apple. Ah, like two bites in that bitch. Ah. Anyway, anyway, fucking So, like, imagine as this is going on, right? From this perspective, and then let's have it be like that perspective. If I was to call this the angel, and this the kami, right? Kwame, whatever. Um, they're both like essentially, if these were two different deity entities, right? That's just perception. They're the same entity. They don't know that they're the same entity. It's almost like this one cannot see this one because they're operating from two perspectives of time. So This is where you'd get the pantheons from. And this is where you get the host from. It's like they're seeing their perception of like creation. They are creating. They are too. Because the mathematical, like it all essentially translates through humanity with this symbol right here. That symbol is the mathematical symbol or the physics symbol for like identical. They are identical. They just manifest in in different ways because of perspective. Because what is God? God is the Word. How do you have the Word if there's no medium? If there's no see, the Word is the wavelength. You have different types of wavelengths. You have sound. Wave can travel through light. You see what I'm saying? God is not just this or that. He's all of it. The accumulation right here, you see those 3 bars? This is why I fuck with the trident. Because this is the realm of spirit. This is the realm of psi. See, was it psychopop? That is Greek for essentially someone who handles your soul for the afterlife, right? It's Greek. Psychology. Psychology is spirit. You see what I'm saying? A psyop is an attack against the spirit. See, all of those concepts, all of those possibilities that got compulated and shit, they were all running simultaneously to a point. That's the clock. You feel me? Like tick, 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 tick. Once it gets to that point, boom, tick, 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 tick. This is why DNA. Once you get closer to these, to the either the beginning or the end portion of something, this is when these realities have to like condense, because what's found that is profitable in each reality is what's going to go forward, and everything else is going to be left behind. You understand what I'm saying? And so, what is the physics symbol for the collapse of the wave function? Psi. It's a trident. You feel me? You feel me? It's a trident. What is a two Tauruses, right? Tauruses look different from the 3D perspective than the 2D perspective, right? But essentially, you know what I'm saying? You got the bull, man. And then the Taurus energy inverted is a Scorpio. Taurus is like ultimate sustainability, right? Scorpio, it's ultimate like there's a little claws and then a little tail on the head. That is ultimate transformation. These two in tandem, when like it's Separate, this would be death. Separate, this would be stagnation. It'd be ultimate life, but it'd be stagnation. When the forces ultimately coincide at the end, or at this Genesis or that Genesis, it's just a nexus point or something. That is when you have like evolution. So, in essence, when Israel was going through all of the other nations and fighting their gods, it's essentially those gods forgetting the fact that they're the same gods. Like they were working together at the beginning. Now they've formulated their own identity. This is the originating identity, but this identity, you wouldn't have got this without that. So which came first? Neither. So if you want to go through like a list of pantheons, that's just an emanation of the persona of God. You feel me? Like all of that happened in here. So when they were working together, it was one eye and then the other, one hand and then the other. And this is how you have the other gods. And so this is like where you'd get the Sai gods, the Sai Kami, or, you know what I'm saying? You could call them whatever you want. They're real. They're the psychic. How do I explain this? As this was perfection, this was perfecting. You see what I'm saying? So this is aspects, like direct aspects. These are like base concepts. You don't start one without the other. It's just one starts in full order mode and one is accumulating order. Once they've designated order, once the translation of information becomes more streamlined, like through human consciousness, then that enact, like these pantheons will like of Sai gods, it's like they just reemerge into the heavens. That's why God is called the host. The Lord of hosts. What is the host? All of them. These ones were born just in completion. These ones are the universal forces just coalescing and manifesting and functioning and all of that into greater and greater forms of deity. You feel me? That's why the time is the illusion. Understood? So, right. So it's psi. It's when you look at like particle physics, the slit experiment and everything. What happens? They figured out that, you know, your conscious awareness or observance of something collapses the wave function. And that symbol is the trident, the psi. Boom. Yes, Moon Ra is the calculative form of Yahshua. You see, like if you look at all of the pantheons of like all of the patriarch list or the king's list from what the Levant, the Egypt, Mesopotamia, all that shit. You have a different version of Adam. all of those atoms, all of those versions of Adam existed at the same time. This is why with Moses, there was right after after the flood, that was a version of a conjunction. In that, this is why like they skipped past a whole bunch of shit that happened pre-flood. Why? Because essentially all fucking shit was happening. Like there was like multiple realities playing in at once. The one that got carried over into this is why the one that got carried over into the next iteration of reality is the shit that was real, the shit that was profitable. See, this is why in the Bible it says all is permitted, what is profitable. So you take that 3 simultaneous runnings of any possibility for each possible action a nigga can take, right? So it just goes into 3 and then 3 because it just this is how it multiplies and shit. So at some point to conserve energy, you know, it has to all coalesce. You feel me? And what is carried over has to be carried over into the next iteration of universe. This is why the DNA. So this is like, so imagine like they coming, like angels coming down to Earth, and like a form of evolution happening, right? Or like, this is like for each one of these angels, they create a physical body. You could call those like extraterrestrials, right? They help construct the universe. Boom. This is like these things are working in tandem. Like all of it has went through the simulation. Only when it hits that nexus point is when it's made real. So were there other humans in the garden? Let us make man in our image. Was this like the culmination, like proto-man and then God and then paradise divinity right here? You see what I'm saying? Like as the plans were being made, this was forming. You see what I'm saying? And if they wanted to live in paradise, all of that other shit that exists, you see what I'm saying? Like you know, it's the realm of thought is fucking crazy, but you could get mad creative on some shit that just doesn't fucking work, right? That shit exists too. So, do you need to take part of that apple? Well, you know, a little chaos, you know, makes life interesting. Something to do. It's living. Because, in all honesty, God could have made that calculation at Hamuda and then instantly, within seconds, reformatted in like fractions of a second into whatever came next. It could skip all of us if it was solely focused on itself. But no. See, a whole bunch of information is lost if you do that anyway, because like it's really survival of the fittest. Any information that does not